Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty.
Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator.
The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, it's episode 266 of the Brink of Sanity podcast. I am Jay, and with me is Mark and the Doc. Hi,
What's up,
guys.
Doc?
What's up? Hello.
All right.
Yeah.
Intro.
Another successful intro.
Yes. Doc was asking before the show, are we talking about Trump? Are we not talking about Trump? What's the Trump with the Trump?
Yeah. Anything going on with him? I don't think there's anything.
So I imagine you seem like I follow you. I see you on Facebook commenting every once in a while, Doc. You seem like you're not a big fan of what Trump has been doing.
No, not really. I was hoping for the best, but it's not looking like it's kind of the worst case scenario, I think.
So I thought we could play a game. If you're up for playing a game with me, Jay, you can play it too. So I am going to be living in Alabama in 2009, and you are going to be living in present day, and we're each going to complain about our outrage about the president, and we'll just compare our outrage.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So make a complaint about Donald Trump, and then myself, me living in Alabama in 2009, I'm going to make a complaint about the president. I'm kind of not a big fan of Obama.
Okay.
So
okay. Should we start?
yeah, start. You can go first.
All right. Trump is a liar. He lies about everything.
Oh my God, he's still black. How did we elect a black man?
Jay, are you gonna take part in this?
No, I'm going to sit back on this one.
You're just gonna listen.
Yeah.
All right. Trump. Trump was supposed to be about the common person, but all he's doing is hiring Wall Street people.
4 years of a goddamn black man. How are we electing a black? What are we doing? This is an embarrassment.
Trump's hiring all these unqualified people, and he has no idea what he's doing. So these are the people that are supposed to be advising him.
I bet
They
he's
don't know.
smoking. I bet he's smoking crack in the White House right now. He's probably smoking crack in the White House and eating watermelon. I cannot believe we put a black man in the White House.
All right, we get it.
Yeah.
No, keep going.
No. This is pretty bad.
Oh my God! Now he wants to give everyone health care. All these goddamn freaking pieces of crap deserve health care. He wants to give people health. What the hell's his problem?
All right. Well, I will say one good thing about Trump. He's trying to take away healthcare, and mostly that'll be the people that voted for him. So that might be a good thing.
Now he's taking our guns and he's shooting white people.
All right, we gotta stop. Let's do something else.
End scene.
I just think it's so. I mean, obviously, like, it's just like kind of the dynamic of like liberals ourselves are so be like, oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this. I can't believe he's doing this. And I just really picture 2009, like the conservatives just being like floored at what we had done to our country. Like, how are we going to go on?
I mean, this whole liberal thing. I mean, like, I'm not even sure I'm a liberal, but compared to like what these people are, I guess I would be liberal. You know, it's like it's kind of shifted completely.
I mean, we had our president banned immigrants from 7 countries that are mostly Muslim. Then the court intervened and blocked his ban, and he called the court political and said the court process is a joke.
I mean, it wasn't just the ban of the countries. It was like he was banning, like they banned green card holders, like people who lived in this country. Like they've been here for like 15 years and they couldn't get back, even though they left for like a week.
How absurd is it? His own nominee for the Supreme Court was quoted as saying he does not feel good about Donald Trump's comments.
Well, Kellyanne Conway trashed him like for a long time before, like, when she was with Ted Cruz, and then she joined him, and now she has to defend everything he says.
Oh, I didn't even realize she was with Ted. I didn't realize she was with
Yeah. Like, there's all these clips of her basically, bashing him like completely.
Oh my
And
God!
she's just like a hired gun. Like she just says,
The Onion had a great piece. It was what was it? Paul Ryan quietly fires longtime advisor his conscience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty good. That sounds about right.
Yeah, although I mean, there's just so much comedy. I love that Saturday Night Live one with Sean Spicer. I don't know if you saw that. this
Oh,
weekend.
that was amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was Melissa McCarthy. Like I knew it was a girl, but like I didn't know. You know.
She did such a good job, and apparently, so they were so pissed off about it. Apparently, Rosie O'Donnell has volunteered to play O'Bannon,
I know.
and she looks kind of like Steve O'Bannon.
Yeah, that kind of works.
They were saying they were saying they should get all female characters to play all like Donald. They should get a female Donald Trump, everyone, just to make them as angry as possible.
They should get a guy to do Kellyanne Conway just to kind of mess them up.
Though the Kellyanne Conway is pretty good in that show. I mean, nothing else. The politics stuff has been like this is a
Yeah.
our country's going to shit, but the
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live is pretty funny.
Alec Baldwin, like I don't find terribly funny in most things, but he's hysterical as Trump.
Oh, I love the fact that he's just been like, oh, I'll just do the show for free. I'll just volunteer to the show for the rest of this term, basically.
Yeah, it's 4 years, but how could you not keep doing it?
Yeah, it's been such a hit. And they what was it? Donald Trump like lashed out at him at one time, and Alex Baldwin's response was, "Release your tax returns,"
Yeah.
which is great.
Some
Jay,
of the
do you
Twitter responses are awesome.
Jay, do you want to talk about Trump, Jay?
No.
I saw on our Trump page had a new post.
Oh, that was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, this site. I thought this site was like dormant. I thought it was done.
Yeah.
And then I
the funny thing about the Trump website is like in November, like first of all, everyone was pissed about the election, and there wasn't a whole lot to talk about because, you know, he wasn't president yet. You know, a lot of the stuff they were doing, you're not sure what was going on. Like now, there'd be a lot more to talk about.
Oh, you want to start the site now?
No, I mean, I'm just saying, you know, it would have been. It was just. I think it was a little early because, you know.
Guys, we should totally start up a Trump site.
Yeah, I have an
Let's
idea though. We should spend one of us should spend all their time designing the site. Another one of us should spend all the time doing a lot of posts, and then the other 5 people don't contribute.
It's the recipe for success.
To be fair, I mean, I think we decided to cancel it like 2-3 weeks right after.
Oh, don't worry about
Yeah.
it. I don't think anyone. It was more that someone had an idea and like tried to talk it up and like really tried to convince us. Then did not. Do it.
Yeah, no, I heard. But you know, I guess it was like I thought I would have more time. It was kind of a busy time too because it was like the holidays and stuff.
Jay, so what's new with you? Do you want to talk about it or no?
Not really.
Okay.
Jay's contributing immensely so far.
I was going to ask you before the show, then I forgot to ask you. And
I mean, people are. We've brought it up so many times. People are probably going to ask. I did not pass my CPA test. I got a 73, and 75 is passing.
Is there any chance you could blow the professor for 2 more points?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Well,
What if he said? What if he said to you like? What if like I don't know? There's not an actual professor, but what if the administrator of the exam was like, Jay, if you blow me, we'll give you the extra 2 points.
Well, I mean, we know what it takes to be Secretary of Education. So, I mean, all you need is a bunch of money.
Yeah. They showed the list of how much that she bribed each senator.
Yeah, it's
and
insane.
Everyone was getting 30 and 40,000, and this one guy got 8. He got like totally screwed.
Oh, that kind of sucks for that guy.
Yeah.
He should have not voted for her.
I guess he probably thought everyone else was getting 8, and then that came out, and he's like, God damn it.
There was actually a pretty good SNL actually had a pretty good skit recently about that. They had like one of those lawyer ads where guys got like I fell at work and got $6 million, and like a couple people say that, and then one guy's like, I got $6 grand. Wait, you guys all got millions of dollars? What the fuck?
Someone should have showed him that graph before they voted, I think.
I saw a guy lose his mind today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just screaming. I was outside my job, and he was screaming. He was going, I saw the funniest fucking thing on TV yesterday, and I couldn't share with anyone. No one. And he's like shaking his fist in the air, screaming.
Isn't that like an average day in Manhattan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Was he? Were you like, sir, you don't own a TV or have a place to live, do you? And then you guys became like, it was like an after school special. You're like, do you need, I can buy you soup, sir. Okay. And then after he had the soup, he died.
I
you
just
the
thought it
new
was a
raving
really
lunatic?
weird thing to have a temper tantrum about not being able to share a funny TV clip.
Maybe his
Yes.
Facebook was down. He should have called 1-800-Facebook and found out what the story was.
Guys, I found this really funny show with Ashton Kutcher. You guys got to see it. You just found like season 11 of 2.5 Men.
There's a show where people are stranded on an island. They're lost, if you would. But I can't remember the name of the show. Anyway, so I couldn't share the show because I didn't remember the name. By the way, I've started, Steven, our big fan, he recommended a show that I've started watching. I've started watching Sons of Anarchy, and it's pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good so far.
Is he still a fan of the show?
Steven?
Yeah.
I think he said that if I said I did not like the show, he would mail a bomb to my house.
Well, I mean, we did an ad on the Nick show, so I think he hates us now.
Oh no, he loves Sons of Anarchy. He hates us.
Yeah.
There was so Doc, if we did an ad on our Nick show, would you hate our guts?
Well, I listen to your Nick show, and I do listen to the ads. I mean, it's not a huge deal. I mean, just fast forward.
Well, would it make you angry, really angry, and have us force you to send us like hate messages?
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Seems
I'm
rational,
joking.
right?
the wonderful world of the internet. Like we should go back in time and like interrupt an AOL commercial and go, the internet will let you will because of the internet you'll be able to find a felon in Canada who will send you hate messages.
Guys, I'm so mad that you're not continuing to lose money because I don't want to sit through 1 minute of an ad.
It's not like we're making money. All Jay wants to do is just break even on the damn podcast.
Are
Right.
you actually? What are you making? Are you making money for those like ads? Like
We get money for reading ads, yes, and the show costs a lot of money to do. So
Well, they're supposed to get money for those ads before and after the show. Also, it just is very little money.
yeah, the pre-recorded ones are a little money. The ones we read live on the air are much more money. But still, we've been losing money for 8 years on the show.
Did you actually? You read an ad on there? I didn't
on the latest Nick show.
From
So-
Handy, you didn't catch the Handy.com ad? Maybe we recorded last night, so maybe you haven't listened yet.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't listened to the latest one.
Do you think, Doc, if you read an ad for Handy.com, could you avoid making inappropriate jokes?
About Handy?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
It's supposed to be like a handyman service, like you, just like the Uber for handyman, basically.
Oh, it's not for hand jobs.
Well, that's handjobby.com.
That's what Mike was.
okay.
That's what Mark was starting to imply when I reminded him that they are actually going to pay us for this.
Yeah, you
if
can't
he
do that. You can't
Doesn't
do
make
that.
constant job jokes.
And then I kept making it the jokes anyway. I could stop. It's too hard. Like Jay's like, I'm sorry, I should have picked a different ad for the first one.
You could probably do that with anything, though.
I'm amazed we haven't been kicked off the network yet.
Yeah.
Oh, so are these ads like part of the like? You have to do an ad for being part of the network, or is
Well,
it just?
it's the guy who started the network wants people to do ads to bring in money. So the idea is like he takes a percentage, and so like we make money, he makes money, and he's right now apparently he exists on podcast money.
Oh, okay.
For those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, we have a Nick's podcast. So we joined a podcasting network for that. So the guy, it's optional, but why wouldn't you do it to make some money?
Yeah, I mean the goal basically is to see if we can cover the cost of the podcast because it will never go beyond covering the costs.
Right.
But apparently
or maybe we can piss off Donald Trump and he'll mention our show and then we'll become really popular.
But apparently
Have you guys
that's the
thought of
absolute
doing, like,
worst
a
thing we could do
Patreon
is
kind of
human
thing?
beings.
Jay, have you thought of doing a Patreon kind of thing?
Yeah, I set it up. All we need to do is the intro video. I set it up like 9 months ago.
Yeah, he's been talking about it. Like every week he's like, okay, next show we'll do the Patreon video. Next show we'll do the Patreon video.
Okay.
Like, okay, sure, whatever, Jay.
So Sunday, before we even start the show, we'll do the Patreon video.
Okay, this Sunday it'll actually happen. I'm sure it will.
I can tell by the tone of your voice you're really
Sunday.
into this.
Sunday. Hey, Doc, do you know what the neurovirus is? Since you're a doc,
Yes, I do know what that is.
have you ever gotten it?
Do you want me? Do you know what it? I mean, do you want me to explain it?
Yeah, you're the doctor on the show. Doctor, please explain what the neurovirus is.
I mean, it's like one of those viruses that causes like a stomach illness, and sometimes it could be severe.
Yeah, it's severe. I got it the other day, which was goddamn awesome.
That one kind of sucks. Like if you get it, it's one of the worst ones for like a day.
So actually, the second time I got it, the first time I got it, my wife. This was when my wife was pregnant. Right when my second child was about to be born, and it basically induced her labor. And I went to the hospital right afterwards, and like I think I infected everyone at the hospital with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like once you get it, anyone who lives with you or is in close contact is probably going to get it.
Yeah. Do you think if you get the neurovirus, the first thing you should do is after finishing throwing up, you should go to the hospital and hang out with pregnant women?
Yeah, probably.
That's because the first time I got it, I thought I just had food poisoning, and I was miserably sick in the hospital. I was like, I don't know, I'm not over the food poisoning, but like my daughter was being born, so it was like I'm there.
I mean, I work at a hospital. Like people show up because they're sick. Like you wouldn't be the only one that came because they're sick. That's like what people do. So I mean, you know.
So and then everyone around us ended up getting it also, so we kind of figured out it was a neurovirus. So anyway, the other weekend, I woke up at like 2 a.m. Like my stomach is hurting. I'm like, why does my stomach feel like such shit? And I wake up and I'm like, I go to the bathroom, I start coughing, and I heave my guts in the bathroom. I come out of the bathroom, come back to bed, and my wife's like, and I kind of also had a little bit of a cough. She's like, did your cough like cause you to like throw up? I'm like, no, I think I'm sick. Did you Lysol the bathroom? Did you clean up? Lysol the bathroom? I just threw up. You should really clean up the bathroom. I don't want anyone else to get sick. I'm fucking dying here. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, when I've gotten those kind of viruses, like you could barely move for like hours.
Could you go sleep? I don't want to get sick. Could you go sleep in the office? How about you go sleep in the office? I'm gonna fucking die here.
Yeah.
Then she came back in the morning. She's like, "How you doing? Did you throw up? Did you are you feeling better?" I'm like, "I threw up 12 times. I've been throwing up every 20 minutes since you left the room." And she's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Could you stay away from the kids today? Just stay in this room." I'm like, I'm fucking. Can I get some water, please?
Or can I have some water or some sympathy?
It was just like she's like, just stay away from us. How about I love you, dear. I feel bad for you. Not like she's like, oh, you threw up a lot. Okay, well, just clean up. Make sure you Lysol everything.
Hey, listen, I'm glad your wife decided to be a lawyer and not a nurse.
So I had to Lysol the bathroom. I felt like it is pretty brutal. It's like for 6 hours straight, like I was throwing up.
Awful. Yeah.
And then my stomach was just like in pain the rest of the day. And
I think I had it like two years ago. It was the worst.
Yeah, she's like, well, like you, like she's like, it must have been nice you had the day off. I'm like, from the kids, or like just like doing anything. I'm like, day off? I've been fucking miserable. Yeah. She's like, yeah, but you didn't have to like, I'd rather be. What do you mean I had the day off?
You threw up like 12 straight times. She's like, how was your vacation?
Exactly. I'm like, I think my stomach came out my mouth.
What's that Brian Regan thing? He's like, he goes in the emergency room. He's like, doctor's like, what's the problem? He's like, I think everything on my inside wants to be on the outside.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a good way of putting it. What else? What's new with you guys?
So we all had fun weeks. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, that was a pretty wonderful day. And then you know what? So how long are you contagious for? You think, Doc? Since you're a doc.
I mean, I don't know if they know exactly, but it's probably when you're actually sick. It's probably like when you're feeling sick is probably when you're contagious.
So do you think it'd be like? So I woke up in the middle of the night. So Saturday night / Sunday morning. Threw my guts up for like 5 or 6 hours. Miserable all day. But I was feeling well enough. I thought Monday morning to go to work. Do you think that's smart?
You're probably not contagious at that point. And usually these kind of things, like, it goes around no matter what. So, people have probably either developed immunity to it or not. People are going to get it.
It was a funny weekend also because like the Saturday I had like we saw my family on Saturday. We had like such a good day on Saturday. It was like such a nice family day. I was so happy, and then I had a miserable Sunday. But the next day, I'm like, I realized when people ask me about like, what'd you do? How was your weekend? I couldn't mention the fact that I had the neurovirus, or people would be like, look at me like, and you're here now?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this, you probably got it from one of your kids. I mean, kids are the ones that usually bring the viruses, and then the parents get it afterwards.
Fuck it, they don't work. They just suck off you and they make you sick. What the fuck's their problem?
I know. Sounds like a bad deal.
one of the other dads I saw him at the train. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Mark?" And like shakes my hand. I'm like, "Oh well, now I really can't mention the neurovirus."
Because if you think about it, like kids touch each other all the time. Like when they're in school and stuff, like they pass everything between each other, and they don't always get sick. They'll just pass it along to you.
Yeah, no, they my son was sick for like 3 weeks. My daughter, like, they're just sick for like weeks on end. They have colds that just don't go away. They go from they get cold get worse, they get slightly better, but they never go away. But anyway, that's my kid stuff for this week. Jay, your hopes and dreams were dashed. I threw up my insides. Doc, what about you? What's new with you? Did you lose a limb?
No, I had a cold, but nothing. I didn't have the norovirus, luckily.
I went to a ridiculous bar on Monday. It was
tell us.
I felt like it would be acceptable if the place had opened 5 minutes ago and was staffed by people who had never worked at a bar before. But this is a place that's been open a couple years with like seasoned bartenders. I was very confused.
What was so ridiculous about it?
It was one of those, you know how like a lot of these new trendy bars, they have like all these weird ingredients and mixed drinks, and like then they're like, oh well, we put like 5 ingredients in your drink, even though it still tastes like a normal drink. So we're going to charge
you $28.
Yeah, we're going to charge you $15 per drink because it has like 2 things in it you can't pronounce.
Right.
So the first 2 drinks we order, they don't have the ingredients for, which is really good when you have a menu of 10 drinks.
What did you order? That like was it like a normal drink or like one of the special like cocktails?
It was one of the special cocktails, but they handed us a menu.
Oh.
And it was like the first 2 things on the front page of their menu. So,
okay.
Like, all right, we'll take these 2 things. Yeah, we don't have either of those. Okay. So we get a drink, and we're like, all right, let's stay for one more. Guy walks back and forth past us maybe 7 or 8 times, doesn't even glance in our direction. There was 2 other groups in the entire bar. So we're talking about a total of maybe 10 people. And he doesn't come over for like 40 minutes. So we finally flagged down the what do you call it? Bar troll? Bar lackey?
The waitress?
The waitress?
The bar bitch? No, not the waitress. The guy who's only allowed to like
bar
clean
bitch.
cups.
Talking about the bar bitch.
The bar back. The bar back. He's not allowed to make drinks. He's just allowed to do all like the heavy lifting and.
Right.
I'm not allowed to make a drink, sir. Don't ask me to do it. I'll screw it up, and the place will burn down.
It's like you get to do all the hard work and you get none of the tips.
They get tips. They have to give some. They have to give some of the tips to the bar back.
Yeah, I know. So we flag him over, and he takes our drink order, and then he goes downstairs and never comes back up, and apparently never told the bartender. And so 10 minutes after that, 2 bartenders come over. By the way, there was 3 bartenders and 2 bar backs for 3 groups of people. And so 2 bartenders both come over simultaneously and ask what we want. And we're like, are you kidding me? We gave our order to that other guy like 10 minutes ago. They're like, oh, he didn't tell us. And we're like, are you kidding me? He's like, well, he's new. And I'm like, that's not really an excuse. Like,
no.
I feel like if it's your first day ever at a bar, you would know not to take an order and then go downstairs and never come back up.
Yeah. Did they give you like any, did they make it free or something or?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
You got nothing?
Nope.
Could we cut to the scene where you're giving the order to the bar back?
Sure.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
I mean, it would be nice if English was a barrier, but it was not.
El Wall Trump, hi.
The same thing happened to me like a month ago. I went to like a Mexican place. It was a small place. I was just ordering some tacos, and they took my order. There's not that many people, so they were looking at me the whole time. I waited for like 15 minutes, and I'm like, so where are these tacos that should take like 30 seconds to make? And he looked at me. He's like, oh, you ordered something, didn't you? I'm like, yes, you took my money, and that was 15 minutes ago. I've been staring at you for like the last 8 minutes. He's like, oh, they never got the order. I'm like, that he's sitting 2 feet away from you.
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
I don't know how
put
these
it in
places
their register.
I don't know how these places stay open. I really don't. So after we finally ordered our second drink, I immediately asked to cash out, because they take a card because I guess they didn't trust us ordering drinks without taking my card.
Yeah.
So I immediately said, all right, we're going to cash out. She comes back another like almost 10 minutes later. Again, only 3 groups of people got the wrong person's card in my thing.
God.
And Jay's like, and there's a picture of me on the card.
Oh, and then I when I got the bill, there was 3 of us, and I wrote every person's name and how much each person is paying. And she took it, went back, came back 5 minutes later, and says, "Are you splitting this evenly?" So she took the piece of paper and flipped it back over to look at the price, completely ignoring the list of names on the back. So, yeah.
Did you give like a $0 tip? Like,
yeah, I think I gave like a buck, which is like, more like I know I'm supposed to tip and this is what you deserve type of thing.
Right.
Like if you
And,
give
like,
0, like they could think you forgot, but if you give $1, like it's saying I know.
yeah,
They
probably don't even care.
Well, I tore them apart on Yelp, so they might care about that.
Yeah, they'll care more about that. I guess.
People seem to really get angry at Yelp reviews. So.
Yeah, well, let's say you got your mattress return. You got a new mattress and a free LASIK from Yelp.
Yeah.
What do you get for this time? They're like, "Sir, do you want ownership of the bar?" Hey, don't think we're giving you something good because like we have to have 5 bartenders, 3 bar backs, and a waitress per customer.
I mean, it sucks that they screwed up, but I feel like they should have given you something like, that's kind of terrible.
But it's not a restaurant does that, but a bar doesn't do that.
No,
Like a
they
restaurant,
could.
they're like, "Hey, you know how you ordered food?
Yeah.
We thought you were kidding, so we never brought the food out. Now,
That's what happened to me.
No,
Like, I
I've
was
been
just-
to bars that screwed up my drink and said that one's on the house.
oh,
I think bars do it too. I mean, it's a service industry, so I mean, if you treated someone like that, they're not going to come back unless.
Yeah, I went to a bar like a couple weeks ago and I ordered a Captain and Coke and they brought me like a Jack and Coke and I said this isn't what I ordered and they let me keep the Jack.
Yeah,
and they
actually,
brought over
that's
Captain.
happened a lot. Yeah.
yeah. Actually, I've seen that happen. Actually, now I've seen it. You're right. Now I'm a fucking liar.
Now that I think about it, those are alternative facts.
I mean, it's called learning how to run a business.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I can't believe that was people who've actually worked there.
Not to
before.
go back to Trump, but did you see that thing with his daughter's like business thing where he tweeted like because Nordstrom like dropped her stuff, and he like
So
tweeted like how shitty of them to do that. I mean, not in those words, but something like that.
Yeah, no, not less articulate.
Yeah, less articulate than that. Yeah, and it's like, okay, I understand, like, it's your daughter, but like, you're the president. You can't just be bullying companies.
No, I think he doesn't. Everything that was like, a president doesn't do that. Now a president does that.
Yeah,
It's all like everything's going out the window of like,
he's
well, that's
breaking
not
all barriers.
presidential. Will never be said again.
Well, that's why prior presidents were not good because they didn't do these kind of things.
They didn't know how to like get shit done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Trump, I cannot believe we're going to have to go through 4 years of this, and probably 4 more.
It feels like it's been like 4 months, and it's been like, what, like 2.5 weeks or something.
Holy shit! Every time I get a New York Times alert on my phone, I'm scared to read it. I'm like, what now?
I mean, it's like you can't even like process all this stuff. I mean, people forget about half the shit he does because there's just so much of it. Like,
Well, that's the idea. If you overwhelm people, you get stuff done.
I mean, he basically said we're as bad as Russia. Like, like.
Oh, they kill people. We kill people too.
Yeah.
Which is factually
I
accurate.
mean, yeah, it's true, but like that's not a good branding, thing with the president of the United States saying that. Like.
Well, I mean, it was better than him being like, he kills people. Yeah, but have you seen him with his shirt off?
I have no problem with him admitting we kill people.
Well, the thing is that Obama.
Yeah, it
like,
was just the way.
said
It was the way he said it.
Obama apologized for things the United States did, and the Republicans were like, "How dare he looks so weak?" And then Trump's like, "Yeah, we kill too. So what's the big deal?" And people are like, "Oh, that's." Republicans are like, "That's whatever. That's fine."
So you're just saying Republicans are hypocrites. This is shocking news.
The whole thing's hypocrites. You know what's exciting? Do you guys want to know what's really exciting?
Superman roller coaster
Sure.
at Six Flags?
Even better. My town is getting a Target.
Good night.
That's how suburban I am. Is not only am I saying it like mocking, joking, I am genuinely excited. We found out we were getting a Target, and the
Did you have
town was ablaze.
Did you have a Walmart already, or what?
We don't have a Walmart. We do not.
Oh.
But we had it had been like a Grand Union or something like that, and it was empty for a while. And the Target is coming, and like you talk to someone on the train, you're like, I hear we're getting a Target. And someone else would jump in. Yeah, I know. I hope we get a Trader Joe's too. Genuine excitement for this is like if you thought like, hey, maybe I should live in the suburbs, you have to get excited for those kind of things if you want to live in the suburbs.
So you're saying it's an exciting life?
It is exciting. I know you thought about buying that place in Yonkers.
Yeah.
So if you do, you have to hope Yonkers gets a Target too. I think Yonkers already has a Target, so you should just go there. Our Targets are probably not going to be ready for like another year. Your Target's ready now, Jay.
Yeah, you should just move. Yeah.
But I mean, then I don't get to live through the excitement of getting one.
That's true. And if we get a Trader Joe's, our town might break out into like song.
Well, we do have to find you some noisy neighbors in Yonkers before you go, just so you won't have to transition to peace and quiet.
You should buy your like neighbors gifts for like stuff like flowers. Thanks for keeping me awake all last night. Here's some flowers. Just like kill them with kindness, Jay. Sarcastic kindness.
Have they been just as noisy, or has that gotten any better?
Oh, it's never better.
No.
Do you ever talk to these people?
I can't talk to the upstairs one.
What's wrong with the upstairs one?
They've been living here for 30 years. You think they don't know that the floors are creaky and the walls are thin? Like if they're being
they probably don't give a shit.
If they're being this loud, they clearly do not give a fuck.
But why don't you talk to them and be like, hey, now it fucking matters?
The guy, first of all, is like an undercover cop, so.
So he's the police force is like, okay, you're gonna infiltrate this building in Astoria, and wait. At some point, you will get the illegal mold growing syndicate that lives below you.
What am I gonna do? Say, hey, you've been living here for 30 years. Can you now change your lifestyle?
Yeah, you can go, hey, your lifestyle involves being loud at 3 a.m. Could you do something about that?
I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, we'll get right on that.
Yeah, they'll probably just say, nothing will change.
How do you know he's an undercover police officer?
Kat found out somehow. I don't know.
Did she read about it on InfoWars?
No.
Okay. I was curious, like, how do you don't they hide those things pretty well?
Yeah. If he's
like
undercover.
in the movies, those guys like try to keep that secret pretty hard.
Well, that's when they're on the job. Like other people know they're an undercover cop.
Well, is he on the job? Well, if he's on the job, why shouldn't he be being shot by the mafia right now?
No, I think he just retired, which is why the TV now gets played at full volume for 15 hours a day.
Oh God.
I think that this happened like recently, like 3 or 4 months ago.
Oh.
Because it used to be loud, but now it's like 24 hours a day loud.
And you can't move because the story has become so expensive that like you actually have a pretty good deal, right?
Right. My landlord finally gave me my new lease last night. Because when I threatened to move, it was right before the new lease was due, and so he didn't give me a new lease for an extra 6 months. And when he gave me a new one, he only raised it $17. So, I'm hoping that this is my last lease here.
Is it 2 years or 1 year?
One, because he doesn't understand 2-year leases. He's like, it's $17 if you want to sign for one more, and it's $47 more if you want to sign for 2 more. And
well, the idea being
that I've heard of that before. I do that.
No, it's usually more, but it's a discount. This is not a discount.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Because if I wait until next year, he'll raise it the extra 30 for another 1-year lease. It's not a discount. I would just pay an extra 30 for an entire year.
Oh,
for no
right.
reason.
Yeah, he just doesn't understand math.
No, but he could be saying like, listen, I'll lock you in at like this much because I would be able to, if you did 1-year leases, I'd charge you more the second year.
No, but that's not what he does. That's what normal people do. That's not what he does.
You're saying he said 17 and then 40 something, right?
17 and then or 47.
Right, which is not double 17. It's more than double 17. I'm just saying in the second year, maybe he thinks he can get even more.
No, I'm telling you, I've done this for 4 straight years. Next year it'll be a $30 raise. It'll be whatever I didn't take
So
this year.
the first year he
Oh,
paid the
okay,
$17. He just doesn't understand that.
He doesn't understand that usually
Oh,
you give a discount for signing 2 years to lock it in. He just wants to charge me the extra amount, and I keep just doing 1 year, and then the extra amount comes the next year.
Yeah, he's not giving you any benefit. He's making it more expensive.
He basically said, do you want to pay an extra $360 or not pay that extra $360?
So what happens next year at the end of the lease? You're saying you only have one more lease. What's going to happen then?
He'll ask if I want to sign again, and if I do, it'll be the same thing. It'll go up 30 or it'll go up 55.
I'm moving past. I'm moving past your genius landlord. I'm saying you said that you want this to be your last lease you sign. What happens next, Jay?
Well, hopefully I pass the CPA, my girlfriend gets a better job, and we have money to like live in not a mold-infested 24 hours a day loud apartment.
Okay. I just wondered what the plan was. And that sounds like a pretty reasonable plan.
We're on the we're on the Marc plan where we want to get a 4-bedroom house in the suburbs and get excited about Targets.
Yeah, exactly. Even and dare to dream about Trader Joe's.
Yes, I want to get a bike around the neighborhood.
I have a bike. I bike around my neighborhood.
Yeah,
You're not going to bike around the neighborhood. Come on.
Why wouldn't I?
Because I know you're not.
I'm going to.
Doc's like, there's no way in hell you're getting on a bike, Jay. Don't lie to us.
I mean, I was your roommate for like 8 years.
Dude,
Jay,
we lived in
when's
East.
the last time you biked around a neighborhood?
When was the last time I lived in a neighborhood where it wasn't like death-defying to bike around the neighborhood? Like I was going to bike around Avenue B in the Alphabet City.
No, but I mean, I think about even in the suburbs, like I don't see adults biking around. I mean, unless you're like a professional biker. Just don't see it.
I go biking sometimes if I have like some time to like without the kids. If it's nice out, I'll go ride around.
I guess I haven't been to all the suburbs, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're not hip. You don't understand what it's like hanging out at a Target.
I just know the suburbs where my parents live. I haven't seen anyone.
I don't know. I like to like it's just another like way to ride to get some exercise.
Yeah, no, biking it's a great exercise.
But I'm not like I'm not like a big biker where I'm like I can like I'm not a big enough biker where I could get the clothes and look like a total.
You know,
ass.
the weird. I did a city bike. I think it was last summer or something. And like it's, the biking at first, if you haven't done it in a while, it's annoying, but you get used to it. But it's like, biking in a city or probably even the suburbs, there's a lot of things. Like there's cars coming everywhere, and I'm sure it's worse in the city, but like, it's not easy to do.
I'm not a big fan of having. I agree. I'm not a big fan of having cars next to me when I'm biking.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to bike for years, but I live in a trafficy area. I'm not going to bike around here.
Oh no, I'd be dead before I made it around the block.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can even imagine in the suburbs. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, I guess you could pick like the side roads and stuff, but still.
That's pretty much what I do. I go to like I try to bike where there's less cars. Basically, they go to
like our neighborhood growing up. We biked around all the time. There's you see one car like every 5 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah, my street itself doesn't have tons of cars, and you can bike up to the. There's a very rich area of town where I can bike to where there's less cars. And it's nice to look at the big houses there.
Well, like my neighborhood, not yours, the Doc, because Doc lived on like a major street, which was like.
Oh yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, that was just that one street. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there were a lot of, bikeable areas. Those areas are like a lot scarier now, though. I think, like where your parents live.
Oh well, yeah, my parents' neighborhood is like Crackville now, but
yeah, it was like borderline back then.
That's not the point. The point is a suburban area you can bike around and not have to worry about your life.
Yes, and apparently where Jay's parents are now, you could also deal some crack from their bike.
Yeah, you could probably pick up some drugs like on the way.
Do you guys want to do some questions?
Just one more random fact. So I just told this is unrelated to what we've been talking about, but this
What's
is a
the
random
difference
fact.
Between a fact and a factoid?
Yeah, whatever. You guys seen the movie Misery? And I know the movie's been out like 20 years ago, but you guys seen the movie?
I've never seen it.
Doc, you never saw the movie Misery?
20 years ago? No.
Okay. Jay, you seen the movie, right?
Yeah.
You remember basically, do you know what that movie is about?
I don't know.
Well, I know you don't know what it is, Doc. I meant Jay. Jay, do you know what it's about?
Well, if he saw it, he should know what it's about.
I am asking him a question for a reason. Jay, do you know what the movie's about?
Dr. Dog Breath said, funny how all Jay's dreams of having is what he had as a kid when he took it for granted. It's true.
Ooh.
Yes, it's about a lady who was obsessed with an author. The author breaks his leg or something, and she takes him in, and then she makes sure he stays sick and basically kidnaps him.
So that's what I thought. The movie by Stephen King. Apparently, that's not what it's about. Do you know what the movie's about? The movie's about cocaine. The entire movie's about cocaine. His biggest, I'm your biggest fan, as she says to him, that's cocaine. And cocaine is keeping him in bed and like preventing him from doing things. It's all about cocaine. The entire movie's a metaphor for that.
Did you see that on InfoWars?
No, he said it in an interview with Rolling Stone.
Oh, that's clever. That's pretty clever. Like the
Yeah.
whole thing, like the woman is like a figment. Yeah, it's like it's in his mind. It's
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know exactly, but like the whole thing was like, it's about. He said the movie's about cocaine. Like the movie, if you think about the movie, when you think about it now, the movie's all set in a snowy area, snow, cocaine, and then everything like she prevents him from doing anything. Like you can't like he prevents him from like leaving the house. She's like ruining his life basically, and that's cocaine basically.
The whole movie's a metaphor for cocaine.
Yeah, he had major battles with cocaine, and that was the movie was about.
oh, that's interesting. Now maybe I'll go watch the movie.
it's not even a recent interview with Stephen King. I know when I saw it, Crack.com, one of their lists, they mentioned that, and then I looked it up and I found the Rolling Stone interview where he mentions that it's cocaine.
That's interesting.
Which I thought was interesting. Like it would be kind of like, what if all his movies were about cocaine? Like Stand By Me, yeah, it's about young friends that find out like a dead body. Nope, about cocaine. That crazy clown's cocaine.
I wonder if that was something like he expected most people not to get. I guess.
I assume he didn't think people would get that.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, he wrote the book, and I imagine like didn't like be a movie, but like I imagine he didn't think like he just.
That's what it was based on, but it's not how it was supposed to be perceived.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but yeah. So everyone, he's locked up in Shawshank Prison for a murder he didn't commit, and then eventually gets his freedom. That's all about cocaine.
Do you know what InfoWars did post recently, though?
Let me see about how Obama's still locking people up even though he's not president.
No, apparently Lady Gaga was going to have a satanic ritual during the halftime show of the Super Bowl.
Really? That would have been better than her actual performance.
It's funny because he's kind of self-aware of his bullshit on Facebook, but not on his website, because when the halftime show was clearly not satanic at all, he pulled the 4 articles he posted about it on Facebook, but he left it up for all of the lunatics on his website.
Okay.
And people were like arguing that it was satanic, even though I'm assuming you guys saw it and it clearly wasn't.
Yeah, no, I thought
I
it was
caught some of it. I mean, a lot of these music acts kind of, they're
like
all
Satan.
weird. Yeah, they're maybe not Satan, but they're weird.
So you thought it was satanic?
Yeah, I totally thought it was satanic. When she was thinking about being on the edge of glory, I knew she meant on the edge of Satan.
I think, no, you're totally wrong. When she was singing Born This Way, she meant born satanic.
When she was talking about her poker face, you know who has the poker face? Satan.
Yeah,
Well,
because you could poke people with his
Yeah,
face.
Satan has pokers.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen King's like, all my books are about cocaine, and Lady Gaga's like, all my songs are about Satan.
I mean, I don't. So even if it was, who cares? I mean, come on.
Wouldn't it be funny if all these conspiracy theories were right, like every single one of them?
Yeah, that
Like-
would be amazing.
So-
Like Obama's gay and Michelle is a transvestite, and like it was true.
Like
I
Obama,
don't know.
now that he's not president, he has to release like all the people he had in his concentration camps. You mean you had in Montana? No one checked, but I had all these concentration camps. They were dead on accurate in InfoWars.
And people get way too obsessed with this religious stuff. It's like you believe in God, you believe in Satan. I mean, every religion has their own things. Like, who gives a shit?
Some lady was arguing with me about Lady Gaga today on InfoWars, saying it was satanic. I was like, how was it satanic? And she's like, well, if you aren't for God, you're for Satan. And she wasn't carrying a Bible and preaching God. And I was like, so you expected Lady Gaga to carry a Bible onto her Super Bowl halftime show and talk about God instead of singing her songs? And she's like, well, if she didn't want to be satanic, yeah. I was like, okay, this is the kind of people that go to this.
I mean, from a rational perspective, like believing in any kind of entity is sort of irrational anyway. God, Satan, whatever. It doesn't like, people want to believe in Satan. Let them believe in Satan.
Yeah, that's true. I'm like, you guys believe in a fire devil monster that lives in an underground invisible fire world.
But then you're better if you believe in some guy who walked on water.
Right.
Like I don't know. Okay.
Yeah. Have you guys heard the greatest bit ever, the George Carlin bit about God?
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? You should. If you haven't heard of it, Doc, you should Google it. It's
I think I've heard it. Yeah.
It's like the greatest con ever. Like he's like this invisible man lives in the sky that like follows you, or like that knows everything you've done, and like all powerful, all wise, and he needs money. He's all powerful, all wise, but can't balance a checkbook.
Also, when he's mad at somebody, he comes up with ways to get rid of them, like a James Bond villain. Like, I'm gonna flood the whole world and blah blah blah. It's like, why can't you just zap them with your finger if you're that powerful? I mean,
religion was really meant to keep people in check, like throughout, like the,
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it works.
Yeah.
Well, who came up with the people? God. You can't debate them because you can't debate a religious person because they're like, you're like, I'm going to use logic. Oh, my argument does not involve logic, and I don't accept logic as an argument.
I mean, the thing is, we can't really explain why we're here, so that always like trumps everything.
If man evolved from monkeys, then how come there's still monkeys?
Yeah.
How come 100% of them didn't evolve over at the same time at the same speed?
But the basic argument is like, well, how did life start?
Yeah.
What was the moment that there was? At one point, there wasn't life, and there is life. Where did matter come from?
And where did the planets come from? Yeah.
You know what? You beat me. I have no fucking idea, but I'm pretty sure millions of years after everything was here, some guy thought of it and invented the idea, and that we should accept that.
Right.
There was some recent thing that came out that a lot of scientists are thinking that we could be part of some sort of augmented reality or like a virtual some other civilizations like virtual intelligence kind of thing.
Did that scientist do his research by watching The Matrix? There's all these things. You're like, you know what? If The Matrix was true and that's where we're going on, fine. That's it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect my life whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving The Matrix, so I'm still going to go to work tomorrow. And
I mean, it would be a pretty specific thing to like program a podcast that has a couple hundred listeners. It's like,
yeah,
that's some intricate programming there.
Or maybe it's like you set it up and then it kind of does its own thing. Like like we're doing our own thing based on whatever.
I feel like I need to smoke a bong to continue this conversation.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
I mean, I was reading an article that said it, and I'm like, I don't totally understand this. And I think Elon Musk was saying it, and it was like, it's more likely than not. I'm like, I don't know about that.
I'm like, hey Elon, have you been dead and are back from being dead? If not, then maybe you have no idea either.
I mean, I think he's a pretty smart guy, but I was like, I'm not following this at all.
Yeah.
I mean, of course he's a smart guy. But it's like those things about like well, the odds are there are aliens out there. It's more likely than not there are aliens on other planets, just they're far away. We haven't discovered them yet. That's wonderful. You gonna watch the Knick game tonight?
Yeah. I mean, who cares? We'll never see them, so.
Yeah, you have to like also just live in a reality of like what fucking matters. Like,
you know what I'm also realizing? Like, like when we were younger, we're like, oh, in 50 years we'll be doing this and we'll be doing that. I mean, with the current political climate, like, I feel like we're not going to get anywhere with that kind of stuff. First of all, like, all the funding's going to be cut from science probably for the next 4 years. Like, we're not making it far away from our planet for the time being, I think.
Well, there's a theory that we haven't run into any other, if you're going under the assumption that we haven't run into any other forms of life.
Jay, wait. Conspiracy theorist Jay, do you believe the aliens have been here?
Yeah.
Do you believe the aliens have took down the towers?
No.
Did aliens cause 9/11, Jay?
Illegal aliens.
Yes, illegal aliens.
Can we build a wall around Earth?
We should, yes.
Do you believe, Jay, there are aliens been here?
Yeah.
Okay, where are they?
We, knowing our government, they came down and said hi, and we murdered the shit out of them.
I think
That
we
seems
are.
pretty reasonable.
I think the aliens incorporated themselves into us. I don't know.
Maybe Donald Trump is an alien.
He definitely is an alien.
So anyway, the theory is that when you get a certain level of technological advancement, you end up destroying yourself. So that's why we haven't met any other aliens, because once they get advanced enough to actually travel to other planets, they end up self-destructing.
Okay.
I mean, I can see
think,
that because I
think
feel
that
like
could go either way.
I mean, I feel like we're like always like a hair trigger away from a nuclear war. I could see us destroying our own planet.
Like right now,
we
we could destroy ourselves. So
yeah, exactly.
we have the capability. So
It almost happened in the 60s with the whole Cuban Missile Crisis thing.
It
Definitely.
almost happened in the 50s when we actually did nuke the shit out of Japan.
it almost happened a week from now.
Yeah.
Like you turn the news, you're like, wait, why would Donald Trump drop a nuclear bomb on Alaska? We own Alaska.
On Australia, like
Yeah.
the country that's like our ally.
He's starting wars with Australia, Mexico. You know, all those countries that we were at war at never. All right. Okay, let's go to the questions, Jay. Because I know you don't want the show to be 8 hours long. We have some bunch of questions, and we have some really good emails from the MVP of emails, so I want to get to those emails.
Which is Lorenzo. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com is our email. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, currently camping with the family. I thought I would blog the experience via email to Brink. Day 1. Fucking camping with a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. How retarded am I? This is duck shit. There is duck shit everywhere. Hopefully they are killer ducks and they eat me in my sleep. If they don't get me, the mosquitoes will. We are camped next to a creek again. How retarded am I?" It is
That sounds pretty bad. I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I feel like that sounds like such a bad idea.
It is
camping is one of those things that always sounds like a better idea than it is.
Yeah.
Always.
It is 6:41 p.m. and I am ready for bed. The sun doesn't go down for another 2 hours. On a side note, it is Australia Day, so if you could all stand and sing our national anthem, that would be sweet.
Oh, we're not allowed to. Trump made it illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim Gaffigan has a great bit about it. He's like, how do you think the homeless feel about camping? Oh, I'm going to pretend to be homeless. It's so much fun.
Lorenzo writes, camping day 2. The Mr. Whippy ice cream truck did the rounds today of our camping ground, and judging by his timing, the driver must be some sort of psychopath. First visit was at 4:30 p.m., which is just before the kids' dinner time. Second visit was 9 p.m. after most kids are in bed. No sale, fucko. Come back at a decent time.
Oh.
And there's one more of this trilogy. Camping day 3. All this nature and no TV make Lorenzo something. My wife keeps making fun of the fat people down the way from us. She thinks they are single-handedly funding the ice cream truck driver's college kids fund. Last night, tonight, thank fuck.
That was pretty awesome. The thing is, I don't know what you do with like a 2-year-old and 5-year-old for the entire day of the entire days of camping. I don't know what you do during camping in general.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're doing a lot of hiking, but like 2-year-old and 5-year-old can't do that much hiking.
No.
And then you're you're cooking and eating and teaching your kids about like why like shitting inside is much better than shitting outside.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Bry, Mark, and Cranky J, what are your thoughts on large corporations that still use fax machines? These businesses should be fined $1 million a year for making the rest of us use this old-ass technology."
Oh, so in my office, where all the doctors hang out, they still fax us all this stuff, and we don't really have like a secretary to handle all this stuff. So like faxes just keep coming in, and a lot of it's like stupid stuff that, they'll probably get to us in a different way, forms to sign and stuff like that. But it like just goes off and like no one knows what to do with it because it's like a pile of, I feel like that.
Why do they still use the fax machine? I mean, like
I don't
why?
know.
Like,
it shouldn't be there.
I mean,
'cause
isn't
it's
like a
older people
scanner,
still use it.
a scanner and an email,
Definitely.
right?
yeah, just fax machines are like the most annoying thing. Well, you can set it up. There are fax servers where you can set it up so like the fax will be emailed to you.
Yeah.
You guys should do that.
But yeah, I guess. I mean, no one's like responsible for it, so it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, a lot of it is like when patients get discharged, there's these like care agencies that take over their care, and then they fax us stuff where we have to sign it, so they get paid, which I don't care about. So, like,
Oh, you want to get paid for your services? Well, go fuck yourself.
well, find a different way besides faxing me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we have a fax machine at work that we don't use for work, and the only thing it gets used for is sending us promotions for travel.
Yeah, we get some of those too, like menus and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like stuff that which is gotta be really annoying when fax machines were a major thing when you had to use them all the time.
It's funny because one of the guys I works with hates it, and he sits like right next to it. So every week, like we work every other week, so he'll always turn it off. So that whole week, like no one gets never comes. And then the next guy, who's like kind of in charge of all of us, like wants to keep it on because he's paranoid that we'll miss something. So he turns it on, and every time he turns it on, like there's a million faxes that come in all at once because the other guy turned it off for a week. They're just constantly battling back and forth.
That's funny.
Pretty funny.
I guess if you turn it off and just never turn it on, like then people will just find a way to get like.
Yeah,
is there anything, like,
I think that's what should happen.
yeah, let's get you another way. Be like, oh, they're not signing it. Oh, we don't use fax anymore.
Yeah,
So,
if someone comes up to me and is like, "Oh, I sent you the fax, you never got it," I'm like, "What year is this? What is going on?"
oh no, I saved it to my floppy disk, asshole.
Oh yeah, no, I got. Maybe I didn't get it yet. Maybe it'll get here in 1983.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, if porn has taught us anything, and it surely has, it's that in the office, every guy is banging a secretary on their desk every second day, and every older female boss is banging the 18-year-old male boy. Any real-life stories to back this up?" My last job, one of the very high ups was banging somebody pretty much on my level.
And on your desk?
On my desk, it was very awkward. And
While you're working, you guys, I just need to like sign out of my computer. You guys just wait till I'm. Oh God.
so yeah, they had to like switch. One of them had to switch departments.
No. They obviously people found out.
Yeah, it was not a very well kept secret. It was like there was a company party, and she was like, all flirty with him and like trying to hold his hand and stuff. And he's like, "Oh shit." He's like, "I have a fucking wife, asshole." Right.
Doc, any office romance there?
No, nothing. I try not to. I mean, it has happened, but dating people at work is never a great idea.
Have you dated anyone at work yourself?
I have, like, nothing for too long, but like going on a few dates and stuff like that.
Do you ever fight with her during surgery?
Well, I don't do surgery, but
It would just be funny if you guys were like having like a lover's quarrel, and the patient's like, "Hello, I'm bleeding here."
Yeah.
Whatever. Listen, I fucking called you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that date each other in the hospital, so it does happen.
Sounds like a terrible idea to do that.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not for that.
The whole shit what you eat kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're not for that anymore after you did it multiple times.
Well, it's hard because you spend a lot of time there, so it's like you're meeting more people at work than you would otherwise. So
Yeah.
Have you ever dated a patient?
no.
Would that
Well,
be
most of my patients are like old, so,
and dead.
Well, I'm not that bad a doctor.
I mean, like, if they're dead, they're no longer my patient, so I can bang them.
I mean, if I ever save one, maybe I'll date them. But
There was a very nice older lady who was trying to set me up with her granddaughter, which was kind of cool, but I was like, probably not the best idea.
When did you find out her granddaughter is 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Lorenzo. Well, we have more emails from Lorenzo. He was on a roll, huh?
He sent a bunch of emails, so that's why I figured we should go.
Yeah. Lorenzo,
By the way, the Knicks are winning right now because they're beating the Clippers because Why would they not? They got embarrassed by the Lakers, but fuck it, we don't need it. Tanking is just too hard for us.
Of course. Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, you're entering an Ice Cube's 3-on-3 tournament. The higher you finish, the more money you win." I don't even know about that. Is that like a real 3-on-3 tournament?
Wait, what kind of 3-on-3 tournament?
He said Ice Cube's 3-on-3 tournament. I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
I know even less.
Ice Cube's 3-on-3. Let's look this up.
I mean, if it's an actual 3-on-3 tournament, probably still won't do it, but I mean, I'd play, but I'd have no expectations of ever doing anything.
Yeah, I haven't played basketball. They're talking about basketball?
Yeah, I mean, I played over the summer, but it didn't go.
Yeah,
I see an article. Still got game. Ice Cube, Iverson back 3-on-3 hoops league. Oh, okay.
Huh.
So they're starting a 3-on-3 hoops league. Okay.
That's
I
interesting.
feel like I'd have to play like on a casual basis first because I haven't played in so long.
I've
like,
played
get
in
back-
a while.
Get back into it.
You guys don't want to just jump right into a tournament?
Yeah, I think that was like
I'll enter the 3-on-3 Brink of Sanity tournament.
when me and Jay went to the Smash Brothers thing, and
Yeah.
I mean Jay's pretty good when you compare him to me, but like he went to this place and these guys were like professional, like all they do is play Smash Brothers like 11 hours a day, and we had one practice match, and one of Jay's friends was like, "Yeah, can I have my money back?" It was like $10, and then I'm like, "Yeah, can I have my money back too?" Because they were wiping the floor with us.
Yeah, and then I was like, screw it. I went back and I said, we made a horrible error. And he's like, yeah, I figured when I didn't see you bring your own controllers.
Oh my god.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey, Mark, just confirming what you said last episode. You want me to snap a pic of every girl I see displaying side boob. If Brink will take care of my court costs, I will gladly oblige. What if Andrew and I start a vodcast called Brink of Side Boob? We just walk around Australian cities looking for side boob and interview the girls. Who would we get to video edit this? I don't know of anybody."
Is there
Well, you know-
anyone with video games?
They should do that podcast, put ads on it, and pay for their court costs using that. They'll make a lot of money.
I say, why don't you start taking pictures of side boob, send it to us, and then if you get sued, we'll talk about it. But what are they going to sue you for? If they're in public, you can take a picture of them.
Right.
You know,
just, just call
if
it
you
art.
if you get sued, just move here. Apparently, it's really easy to come here.
Just get on a plane. You barely need a visa.
You can take pictures of girls if you say it's art.
You just if they have no right, they have no reason to think there's no right of privacy when you're in public. So you can take all the side boob pictures you want in public. That is not real legal advice.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey Jay, the ban has been lifted. You can take questions again. Let's say there is a train traveling along and it's heading towards the entire current Knicks team who are tied to the tracks. If you do nothing, they will die, but you aren't responsible for this. If you hit the switch, the train will divert to a track where Drake is tied down. However, you go to jail for murder. What do you do?"
Ooh.
I think the Knicks got to die.
Yeah.
As much as I hate Drake, I don't think I'm jail material.
Yeah, and plus you have a lot of investment into your education. You can't stop now.
Right. Wouldn't that just improve the Knicks anyway?
Your Honor, I've got like 3 or 4 more CPA exams, so I can't go now.
Yeah.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, I've been collaborating with a marketing firm on behalf of Brink to increase the number of listeners. We have come up with a device that each of you wear while recording that spikes the number of listeners by 10,000 over the regular number.
Ooh.
It's called PodSpike 2000 and costs $300 each plus the annual fee. I'm willing to waive the annual fee for you guys. Sound good? Oh, by the way, it's the size of a golf ball and you have to wear it in your ass for it to work. Still keen?"
I already actually have it in my ass because I knew he was going to ask about it.
You lost me at the $300.
Jay, would you wear a golf ball in your ass for a week if you meant increasing the listeners, the downloads by 10,000 for Brink?
Would those listeners stay after the week?
Yeah, once they've listened, they're in. But they want to make sure you have the golf ball in your ass for the full week.
Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Doc, Would you wear a golf ball in your ass to increase our downloads?
No offense, but what would I get out of you guys having more downloads?
Hey, you know the show you're on like 4 times a year?
Yeah, like why would I do that? I don't get it.
I'm assuming you wouldn't do that, Mark?
Again, I've had it in my ass the entire year. Just in the hope.
Lorenzo writes...
How do you think our downloads have gone up for the next one?
Lorenzo writes, hey guys, Twix or Snickers?
Twix.
Snickers.
Twix by a landslide.
Landslide?
I don't even think it's even close.
Oh. Which one did you say? You said Twix or Snickers?
Twix.
I said Snickers.
And Lorenzo writes, Twix is the Hornacek's daughter of chocolate bars.
Ooh.
I haven't had a Twix in a while. Maybe I should have one.
I haven't had a Hornacek's daughter in a while. Maybe I should have.
Yeah, Twix is amazing. And last one, not from Lorenzo. This is from Kazim. Kazim writes, hey guys, I haven't emailed you in a while. Been busy, but I still listen and download episodes whenever you guys do post. So thanks for not canceling the show so far. Anyways, I have a little bit of a dilemma and I was hoping maybe you guys could help with. This is going to be a bit long, but I'll try to keep this short as I can. Long story short, ever since I left high school, I've been focused on one thing and one thing only, my career. I went from undergrad to med school to now grad school, which is almost done now. Now, while I was going through, I ignored all the parties and girlfriends and everything just so I could focus on my grades. I'm 27 now, and now that I have time to go out and party and go to clubs and whatnot, no one wants to go. I also have to mention I'm a bit socially awkward. It's a bit hard for me to do anything because I am shy just a tad. My friends try, but I always fuck up because of my awkwardness, nervousness, and shyness. Any words of advice without roasting the shit out of me?
Okay.
I think we're the wrong people to ask this. I think we have probably the same problems.
I would say why don't you try like the online dating stuff? Like, what's the one that everyone does? The
Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
No, Tinder is
that's like a hookup site.
Yeah, that's more just like a fuck buddy site. And if you're like shy, that's probably not the best site to get into. Try like OkCupid, or just do social events. I don't know if you, join like a volleyball league or a dodgeball league or something.
Where's he?
I think he's in New York. So
yeah, there's a bunch of like dodgeball, kickball. Join one of those leagues. That'll be a really good way to meet.
I mean, even if you're not athletic, you could do like dodgeball or kickball.
Most of the people who do that aren't. There's very easy leagues. It's more about the socialization.
Yeah, and you get to know people while you're playing, and then they usually have a social event afterwards. Or there's also Meetup.com where there's a different type of event every.
Yeah, I actually did that a few times. It was pretty good.
What do they do for Meetup.com? Like what kind of social?
They have different groups based on like, one was like after dinner, like people would just hang out after dinner. Some of them are like based on like interests and things like that, common interests.
What did you do?
There was just the one like where people would just meet up after work for dinner.
Yeah.
It was like a big group of people. I mean, it was okay. I mean, you met random people.
Yeah, I mean, did you end up like actually hanging out with the people thereafter, or just like that one?
I didn't. I only did it like once or twice. So it was I like talked to them, and I mean, it was, I think if you kept doing it, it probably you would have started to get to know the people, like if you went multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, there's different people that go every time. You can't expect to like meet your best friend or your love of your life like the first time you go. Give it a couple tries.
Yeah,
I talked to people. It just wasn't like it didn't seem like there was anyone there that I'd hang out with.
Right.
But I think if I kept going, it would have probably been okay.
Exactly.
Plus, if you see someone twice or 3 times, then you're more likely to talk more.
Yeah.
Or just on the street, if you see someone that you feel like you could be friends with, follow them until they talk to you. I think that's pretty good advice, actually.
Yeah, New York is hard. I mean, most people in like normal lives, like they don't, if they see each other in grocery store, people just don't start conversing with each other, as opposed to some other parts of the country. I think people are much friendlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, Hey, you hear about the new target we're getting? Yeah, stranger, let's talk and become best friends.
I mean, even like I went to Austin for my brother's bachelor party, and people just start talking to you, like like you everywhere you go, people just converse with you. Like
I've been places where they do that, and you're like, when people do that, you're like, fuck, why are you talking to me? What do you want
Yeah.
from me?
yeah. If you live in New York, you feel like that.
Yeah. Anywhere else, you're like, I'm being normal and friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, creep.
That is it for email.
Questions on Facebook?
Yeah, we are Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. We forgot to ask for Twitter questions.
Have you ever gotten a Twitter question for the Brink of Sanity? Does anyone even know you have a Brink of Sanity Twitter account?
Although I love that email saying, since you don't have a Brink Twitter handle, we do get questions once in a while. And if you want to leave a voicemail, 631-676-1181, or you can Skype us, The Brink of Sanity.
Plus, I wouldn't even put anything about there being questions from Twitter because you become a question Nazi and you want to limit the questions. So I don't need to have more questions for you not to read.
As we're an hour and 15 minutes into the show and didn't start the Facebook questions?
Yeah, exactly.
Jordan writes, alternative facts and the Bowling Green Massacre for sure.
That was a pretty big. Did you guys? I don't know. I actually was in the Bowling Green Massacre.
Yeah.
I missed that whole thing.
You know the story basically. Kellyanne Conway made a reference to the Bowling Green Massacre. It wasn't publicized, and it turned out it wasn't publicized because it didn't happen.
So apparently there were these two Iraqis who were planning something, and they I guess got them or whatever, and nothing ever happened. But
they were busted pretty early on, I guess, or early enough that no one was harmed. So the word massacre, it could have been more Bowling Green incident.
Gotcha. So she was being interviewed, and she was like, "Oh, things are so underreported. For example, this Bowling Green massacre. No one ever talked about it." And then the reason was that it never happened.
And then Donald Trump, they released a list of underpublicized terrorist attacks, and then the New York Times said, underpublicized, here are all the articles we wrote about all these terrorist attacks you're talking about.
And actually, someone brought up a point I was watching. They're like, it's actually bad if we over-publicize these things too, because that's what the terrorists want. They want us to be scared, constantly talking about terrorist attacks. They do one thing and it maybe, doesn't even injure anybody, and we're still talking about it while we're talking about terrorist attack like that. We don't want that either, So
we're forgetting about the whole terror part of it.
That's kind of what the terrorists want. They want to do one little thing, and they want the whole country to talk about it forever, basically.
Well, there was that thing one of Bin Laden had said one of his goals was to get the United States to bankrupt itself in the reaction to the terrorist attack.
Right.
And then apparently he knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, no, we spent billions of dollars in response.
So he's a smart guy. He was a smart guy.
No, yeah, that part of it seemed to work pretty well.
My sister joined the conversation. She also suggested trivia nights and cooking classes.
Well, trivia nights, I feel like it's tougher because you're not you're on a team. They don't, unless you show up and they put you on a team.
Yeah, and the cooking classes is all right, but that's usually a date thing. I feel like couples and stuff, you can still go, but maybe if you have one friend that wants to do it.
I feel
Jay, your sister has bad ideas, Jay.
Trivia night, I think, is good for a first date.
Yeah.
If you go on a dating site and you get a date, I went to on a first date at trivia night. It was good.
The one of the New York the guys in New York Sports Social Club, I did a couple sports through it, and it was pretty good leagues.
That's how we know each other, actually, right?
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah, that's how we met. So
example number one.
Well, but we also Randy was our connection, but
right.
But still, it was a good way because it was the kickball or whatever sport you were playing was kind of the here's what we're gonna do so we can all drink after, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Randy was a common friend, but you, Jason, Stowe, we did the sports thing, and that's how we knew each other better, I guess.
Right. If we didn't do the sports thing, we all wouldn't be doing a podcast now.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Frank writes, what if Bry was actually contemplating a sex change and you guys just crushed his dreams and shamed him out of it? How would you feel knowing that Bry will never get to fulfill his dream of becoming a lady man, and it's all your fault?
I don't think I was insensitive about it. All I was saying that it must be, Doc, if you woke up every morning and your biggest problem was you were like, God damn it, I still have a dick. Wouldn't that be a tough way to start your day?
Yeah, I guess it would. I don't know.
I was-
It's hard to imagine.
It's like that's gotta be so hard. Like when your big problem is you're in the wrong body, you have the wrong genitals. Like people are just like, and I talked about this last week, but I was just like, people or whenever we did the last show, but like it's gotta be so hard. Like people are like, yeah, my boss was a jerk to me today. I'm not getting that raise. Yeah, I still have balls.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, it probably does suck.
It's gotta be. I mean, the only thing like how much worse could it be? You're like, oh, what's going on, Jim? What's wrong? Oh, my right arm's trying to kill me again. Like it's like your own body's like attacking you by being in the like. You have a problem with the body you're in. Like that's fucking
I'm assuming this was a joke or something because I'm pretty sure Bri doesn't wake up every day thinking.
No, Bri said Bri was complaining about the fact that he's not a woman. So you didn't know that?
He literally just joined the chat room. Jamie writes, would you rather see the Knicks win one title or live with Phil for a year? So my options are my favorite team wins the title or I live with an old man for a year. I'm going to go with the Knicks winning a title.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the upside? I mean, I understand like Phil probably has a nice house he lives in, but what was the big upside for living with Phil?
I don't know.
You're like, ooh, do you want to wipe split pea soup or off an old man's mouth?
I mean, we would know once and for all if he's senile or not. Jason writes, opinions on all these protesters and the left always wanting to hurt anybody who says they're a Trump supporter. It is pretty critical to assault Trump supporters if you say you're a liberal.
I mean, I haven't heard anybody say that.
The Trump supporters get assaulted a lot.
Do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all these people dressed in black hoodies, like the riots at was it Berkeley?
You know what? Here's what I don't get. So they were complaining about that guy coming to speak, and they were protesting, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, these college students, they're against freedom of speech. They should." And you're like, "Well, if you're saying the guy should be allowed to come there and speak, should the college students be allowed to speak themselves and like protest him coming?"
I mean, I heard that someone went there to instigate them, but I'm not sure what's true. But
the whole thing is stupid. Like, you know what? If you didn't want him at your college, you don't attend the actual speech. That would speak much louder than breaking a Starbucks window. Like if the guy went to give a speech and there was 5 people in the audience, that would speak louder than
yeah.
You assholes like set a building on fire.
No, but I that part I don't like any kind of violence. But I understand the idea of going like I'm paying a lot of money to go to college here, and my college is promoting a guy who's like big on hate speech.
Right, so you don't go to the speech.
Well, no, I understand people protesting. I think you're allowed to voice your displeasure with the fact that the guy's a giant asshole.
I mean, the Women's March after he got inaugurated, there's so many people in all these different cities, and nothing violent happened. I mean, you don't have millions of people.
No, I think it's stupid. You just don't go.
But if you don't go, then he speaks there, and he can say, "Oh, Berkeley supports me now."
Not if 5 people went.
But it's not going to be 5 people go. There are going to be a bunch of people that go to it. So.
Oh, did you hear about the Manhattan? Apparently, they tried to do a pro-Trump rally, and like 50 people showed up.
Nice.
Jason
writes, with Trump just in, it seems he has done more in months than Obama in years. Opinions now on his presidency and what upcoming changes you think we'll see.
When you say done more, like start fights with Australia and Mexico, and like what's he? And the thing is, he was like, we're gonna repeal and replace the Obamacare. Okay, well, what's your replacement idea?
2018.
We didn't think you'd ask us that part.
I'm gonna replace it with something better and something really good.
But they're already saying it's going to be 2018. So like they were in such a rush. They put passed all these laws to try to repeal it, and now that they actually have power, they're like, oh, maybe a year or 2 from now we'll do something.
Well, did you guys? I don't know if you guys watched last night. So CNN had a 90-minute debate between Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz, which was pretty interesting, all about healthcare. And like Ted Cruz, obviously being the Republican position, he presented almost like all he talks about is how bad Obamacare is, and then presents almost no ideas. The only idea he presents is we can buy healthcare across state lines, and everyone gets a health savings account.
Well, he did sign a bunch of executive orders. He signed one that allows corporations to pollute water. He signed one saying that heads of companies can now take bribes from foreign diplomats. So I mean, he's signing a lot of orders. It just they're not good.
It's a lot of
they're not good. But also these executive orders, a lot of them like don't mean anything unless there's actually like laws that are passed.
Like the Mexican wall one, they need to actually get the funding for it. They need Congress has to approve the wall.
It doesn't do anything by itself.
And his rule about the Obamacare was just saying the executive agencies don't need to enforce it anymore. But at the same time, until they have another plan, until they actually have a vote in Congress, nothing's really changing.
I mean, the wall thing, like, I don't think it, like, the wall is not going to stop anything. But even if they build it, I'll be impressed. But it's like there's so many steps to like making it, and it's a waste of money. But like actually doing it is going to be really hard.
Well, they tried to build a wall, like a partial wall in 2006. Yeah. I don't know if you guys read about it. There was an article about it in the Times how they basically gave up after a mile because it was there's so much money. It was such a disaster.
Yeah. And there's like all this private land, there are rivers that like are really hard to build on. And actually, most of the immigration doesn't even happen through land. People just
fly over it.
They fly in, or there was this map that I saw that's like just showed arrows around where the wall would be to all the different places where you could just take a boat, like.
Right.
I mean, like the whole thing's so stupid.
Or dig a tunnel, or get a ladder.
It would cost $30 to $40 billion. You could not find a dumber way to spend $40 billion.
And you'd have to man the wall all the time. Like otherwise, people would just go over it. Like
the ladder companies will make a lot of money.
Jason writes, opinions on the immigrant ban to this country. I agree with it. Immigrants are just cheap labor forces for Marc's people. Yes, Marc, your immigrant nanny and housekeeper wants to get paid a decent wage too.
My immigrant nanny and my housekeeper get paid a decent wage. We pay them a decent wage. So I don't know why I'm defending myself to a random person writing on Facebook.
I saw this thing on California where like the federal government doesn't want California to not crack down on the illegal immigration, but they estimate that illegal immigrants produce like $180 billion worth of whatever they work for. That's the value of their
economic output, whatever.
You're right. Yeah. So they can't. I mean, they could kick them out, but I mean, it's not like an easy thing. A lot of industries depend on it.
There's 13 million illegals here. You're not going to be able to round them up. It's
just not feasible.
You should make a pathway to citizenship. Allow them to become citizens. What's the goddamn difference?
And the illegal immigration is already banned. Like it's been banned, and Obama got deported a lot of people actually.
If you're so worried about the illegal immigrants, make a better pathway, and that way they can all become They can all become taxpayers. And
I mean, illegal immigration is by definition illegal, so it's already been on the books. The question is how to enforce it.
And
they haven't talked about
banning from 7 nations just because those nations don't do business with Trump seems kind of and they're all Muslim. It seems kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, there was no reason.
Ron writes, "Are you guys scared of Trump?"
Yeah, I'm getting scared of Trump. What are you guys
I'm a little scared of the fact that I think he has no idea what he's doing in terms of like security and stuff like that. Like he just replaced the security department and said like everyone go home, and I don't think he replaced anybody. Like it's just we're not secure now.
It seems like the State Department,
the state, yeah. But like and then he doesn't trust the CIA, and he's like I don't understand. Like he wants to make us safer, but he's getting rid of all the people that know what they're doing.
He calls out judges that don't agree with him for being
so-called
corrupt.
Judges.
Yeah,
so-called judges.
I mean,
it's
pretty bad. Yeah,
I'm not so much scared of him. I'm scared of the people he's surrounding himself with.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Ron
Every
writes,
department. Yeah, like the Secretary of the Environment will be no longer into the environment.
Ron writes, "Have you guys ever had a credit card scammed or someone tried to mess with your account?"
Yes, I've had that a couple of times, but like every time I've had that happen, the credit card companies are pretty good about it. Like
I got like a $400 charge from some pet company, and it was I don't know who made it, but they got rid of it.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I feel like it's pretty common, but the credit card companies know. And
well, they say you don't. That's why they say like the problem with debit cards is that like debit cards you don't like. It's hard to get the money back.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys use debit cards?
Yeah.
I mean, I have one, but I usually use a credit card because you get money back. You get some.
Yeah, you get the points and stuff. Yeah, I don't use debit cards because I'm always worried that like if someone steals my debit card and starts taking money out of my account, I mean, that's going to be a while before I get that money
But they'd
back.
have to. I mean, they'd have to know your PIN number, right? Because otherwise it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I guess so. You know what? Is it? Do they have to do the PIN number every time you use a debit card?
Actually, I don't. You know, I think I've used it some places where they don't ask for it. So
It
maybe
depends
not.
the size of the purchase, I believe.
Yeah, if it's a lot, I think. Yeah.
Jay, so why do you since you actually have one and use one? Why do you use one?
Because interest. I don't want to like if I think I'm short on money that month and
Oh, okay, yeah.
you know I just don't want to like it's not worth it to me to charge it to get points and then pay twice as much as the points are
No,
worth on
definitely.
interest.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
just have it on
yeah.
auto pay, but I guess if you're not sure.
I mean,
maybe-
lately now that my bills have been down a little bit, I've been trying to use the credit card more and then just pay it off at the end of the month, but
Right.
it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, it's definitely not. If you're not going to pay it off, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Ron writes, had Jay and Mark's sleep apnea gotten worse, has nature soon it's a force that humans cannot control?
So I think I had that silent sinus infection, which I think is cleared up, and I'm still snoring, but the snoring is less than it was before. So I don't know. I didn't go back to the doctor this week, and I'm thinking that I may not have to have the surgery. I know I'm going to probably have the surgery. Eventually, it'll get bad again. My wife will send me back to the doctor, but I haven't done the sleep study yet. It's been getting a little better.
I have a follow-up with my sleep doctor on the 17th, so in an episode or two, we'll get an update on that.
Doc,
Are you wearing the mask?
Doc, do you
Yes.
snore?
I think like not all the time, but I think I probably snore sometimes. I would think, but I don't know.
No.
My central apnea comes and goes, and so lately I've been using the mask just because it's easier.
What if they told you that we can cure the central apnea, but the surgery is going to be just as painful as the last one?
The what surgery? Oh, that one.
Yeah, let's say that they're like, oh, we forgot you have a second uvula that you grew
Yeah,
back.
we figured out what we screwed up last time.
Yeah, we're going to do it again. For 2 weeks, you're going to be miserable, but then your central apnea is going to be cured. Would you do it?
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Yes.
And what if they said like as part of it, you have to wear a golf ball in your ass?
Well, that's just a bonus, right?
Yeah.
So, are you wearing the machine again now?
I am.
Oh, you're back to the machine.
Yeah, I don't have the obstructive, but the central gives me apnea. So and I think it's stress related, and as long as I keep failing these CPA tests, I'm going to have central apnea.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That sucks, man.
Yeah.
At least you're getting better. What did you score the first time?
Well, it's a different part.
That's true.
But also, I didn't have the online course last time.
So when's the next one?
March 9th.
And which
So
is it?
Did you have practice questions before you did the test? Like, did they give you questions to do?
I did over 1,500 practice questions.
Oh, okay. So what was the percentage you were getting on those?
60s.
Oh,
They said normally you get between 40 and 60%.
oh, so like those are harder than the actual test? You mean?
Yeah, it's like the exception to the exception with a twist. And you're like,
So
oh,
the practice questions are harder.
you fooled me with that. Well, it's a mix on the test. Like, there's some easy ones, there's some hard ones.
Now, when you say 73, is that your percentile, or that's just a overall
That's the
percentage?
percentage of what I got. I got 73% of the test correct.
Do they give you your percentile, like where you ranked with everybody else?
No.
Were you annoyed that you decided not to answer the last two questions? You're like, oh, I already passed. I need to answer these last two
Yeah.
questions.
How many questions were on the test?
There was 72 multiple choice and 3 essays.
So someone's like, you could have done well on the multiple choice. Someone could have just screwed you on the essays.
It's very possible.
Some fucked up shit.
Yep.
I feel like essays for accounting doesn't seem right.
No, the only one of the parts has it, and that's the one I just took.
So which part do you take? Are you taking the part you failed the first time again?
Yes.
Next? Okay.
Yes. Let's see. Ron,
Are you loving life?
I love life. This is great. I live with mold and loud neighbors, and I fail tests, and every time I do, it costs me $500. And my apnea came back, and I gained all the weight back that I lost from the surgery. This is great. Oh, and my job's terrible.
Did you ever think about making a video and editing about it?
Ron writes,
Oh, speaking of jobs, just to interject, I was listening to one of your podcasts and you were talking about me and how last time I talked to you, like I said, oh, my job is very easy and I don't do anything all day, which hasn't been true for a while actually. So it's just funny because I listened to it. I'm like, maybe there was a time where it was like that. But
yeah, there was a time you were bringing like your laptop to work and playing Warcraft.
Wait, hang on. You work every other week and you're playing Warcraft at work during the week you
I
work?
guess, I mean, I must have said that. I think I was exaggerating probably, but it's gotten a lot busier. Like that was probably the first few years I was there.
Just the first few years.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
Well, no, I mean, like there were times. I mean, not all the time.
How many years have you been working there for? Like, how many years have you been doing this schedule?
It's been almost 9 years, I think, or 8.5 or something.
Holy shit.
It's a while, yeah.
It doesn't feel like that.
I know. To me either. It's crazy. It was 2008 or something.
You're more like 2000 late.
Oh.
Oh,
burner.
the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
Ron writes, Jason, I made $8,100 working at Starbucks. Do I have to file taxes?
I'm going to say, before Jay even answers, and Jay's the expert, is that yes, you have to file taxes. Jay?
Yeah, I think you have to file. You may not have to. You probably won't have to pay.
You are correct, sir.
You have to pay taxes on that, don't you?
No, there's like a certain amount that you can make without paying taxes, right?
Yeah, but
What is that
I think it's
what's-
over.
1,800.
Shouldn't you actually know, Jay? Because since you're taking the exams.
That's the part I'm on right now.
I
I think the
Actually,
standard
I think 1,800 is way under. I think.
8,100.
8,100, you said.
Oh, he said 8,100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he may be over.
I don't know. It's close. The standard deduction's a few thousand. It depends if that's your only income. That might be low
I mean,
enough.
if you're gonna have taxes, it's gonna be very little.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I mean, I know I screwed up my taxes, but I was taking advice from a guy that was failing the CPA exam on the podcast. If you want to download it, it's the Brink of Sanity. I have a T-shirt for you.
I got it for $8. Rosero writes, considering Marx has children, what are his opinions on Betsy Voss being the new Secretary of Education, unless his rich white privileged kids will go to private school?
I live in a white privileged area where the public schools are pretty good. They'll probably stay good no matter what Betsy Davos does. Unfortunately, most of our country will be fucked, but my neighborhood's nice.
Rosero writes, Marx...
How do you guys feel about her?
Oh, she's awful.
Yes.
It's just noted.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's like you could just tell some random person they'd be better.
I'm joking. Like my neighborhood's like fine neighborhood. I'm sure my public schools will stay good.
I don't understand. Like, so there's federal funding, and like your public schools, like in like let's say Long Island, aren't they funded on a state level though, right?
I thought they were funded by your real estate taxes mostly, and then
right, like
probably
so
state
they're
dollars.
funded locally, right? So what part is federal? There must be a part of it.
I have to say, I would be fine if they got rid of the Department of like if they, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but they should get rid of the Department of Education. I don't need the Department of Education.
Well, I don't know what it does. Yeah,
I don't know what they do. I don't need a federal, like, we could just have states that are state, like, if New York wants to have good schools and smart kids, they can do that. And then Alabama, they can be dumb as shit, and that's fine with us.
I just don't know if it means that, like, money that does normally go to public education will just be taken, funneled into
charter schools.
Just schools.
So basically,
yeah.
Mark just wants to eliminate everything that he doesn't know what they do.
yes, exactly. I don't know what this department does. Let's just get rid of it.
So basically, you're Trump.
Wasn't you heard the Rick Perry? He's the head of the Department of Energy, and he didn't know what it did. Like he didn't. Apparently, it's like two-thirds of.
I think he campaigned on getting rid of it. Like
he did, and 2/3 of the job involves apparently dealing with the nuclear arsenal. He had no idea that was part of it.
It's pronounced nuclear.
I just think education should be more of a state thing than a federal. I don't want a federal mandate in education.
My biggest thing is like Trump. The whole campaign was like, "I know the best people. I'll find the best people for each of these jobs." I mean, the people he's put up are like, I mean, I could have picked people out of my ass.
Well, I don't know a lot of billionaires, so I couldn't have picked these people.
Well,
he's like,
I guess so.
By best people,
like,
he meant everyone who gave me money.
He's like, Hillary is in love with those Goldman Sachs people. I know better people from Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, I know 8 people from Goldman Sachs that I will put.
Drain the swamp and make it even worse.
Well, it's pretty much like that Mr. Show skit. Well, that they were saying you're better if you're richer, and they were saying how like Galileo died poor, and he's like, "What a loser." That's how I feel like Trump is.
Yeah.
Well, that was that post I put on the Donald Trump happened. It was like all those companies just they're pissed off about the immigrant ban, and I put the typical Trump response. He's like Google, they don't know what they're doing. I should go over there and give them pointers. That's a failing company. They're not going to be around in a couple of years. Like that's basically what he would say. Like anyone who criticizes him, that's what he says.
Yeah.
But this is actually the argument I was like, people were making to me after. So when the economy collapsed 2008, and all those companies were giving out these big bonuses, retention bonuses, and I was like, why do you have to give out the retention bonuses? And they're like, well, if you don't give the retention bonuses, then all the bankers will leave that bank. And I was like, well, but all those bankers made all those banks lose tons and tons of money. Why do you want them to stay? You're like, well, they're the only people that are smart enough to get us out of this. I was like, I don't know if the people that got us into it are the people you want getting us out of it.
I'm thinking like the next time this happens, like we should just let it fail because I mean it'll suck, but I mean if this just keeps happening and like it's just gonna go back to the same stupid system every time.
Or
it's not worth it.
Or we just bail out the people, not the banks.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like if there's a way to do that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there is. You give people the money on the condition that they pay back their debt, and you take the money back if they don't.
You just bought if instead of giving all the money to the banks, you just paid off everyone's mortgage in the country would have been in a lot better shape.
Yeah.
Right. Like instead of just giving Chase like $1 million, you take $1 million off of like debt that people had.
Yeah,
because all they did was basically they said they gave the banks all their money and said everyone else you still owe the money.
Right.
If you just paid off everyone's mortgage, the whole issue was all these mortgages were failing. Mortgages don't fail anymore if you pay them off, and the banks get to keep their money too. But now all the homeowners have a lot of money and they can spend it, and the economy just goes back to like kicking ass.
Seemed like an easy solution, really.
Yeah, the only reason you don't do that is because you hate people.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah.
So, Rosero writes, Marks, when you first find a boy in your house with your daughter, what will you do?
Gonna be weird, but she's since she's almost 3 years old. I think I have a few years before this happens.
Yeah, you have some time.
You got some time. It will be, yeah. Like it's one thing. Like my son, I'm like excited. Well, I'm not excited for it, but I'm like that'll be good. Like I'll be like give him a high five. My daughter will be like,
You're not gonna give her a high five.
yeah, and like all the guys. You're like, I know myself at that age. All these guys are trying to. Oh my sweet fucking daughter.
Your son is older?
My son is old. My son is 5, and my daughter is going to turn 3.
Does he have does he have friends like come over and stuff, or is he still too young for that?
He has friends come over, but again, like they're 5 years. His friends are 5 years old. They're not really looking at a 3-year-old. Like, but it will work. It will work well.
I just meant like like I was just wondering like if they're all. I mean, at that age, they're probably all boys that are his friends, right? But do they ever have like, co-ed kind of hanging out?
Does he have like a girl play date?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Actually, through our nanny, he has a girl play date. There's like
okay.
And at school, sometimes he plays with the
I
girls.
mean, at that
also.
age, it doesn't really matter, I guess. If
but it's more boys. But like, yeah, I mean, the boy you can see at this age already with that. Like my daughter will play with like boys and girls, doesn't really care.
Right.
But my son like prefers to play with boys now.
Right.
Rosero writes, I feel like Netflix will take over every other streaming company of Hulu, Amazon Prime in the future. Should I buy up Netflix stock now so I have $3,000 that is even worth spending?
I read this question earlier when he posted it, and I looked up the Netflix stock, and I was like, God damn it, I should have bought Netflix stock.
Yeah.
It's like they're kicking, and apparently they're. I should go buy them out now. I read an article they're going to spend $6 billion on original programming this year.
Yeah, I think that's where they're really doing well.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Netflix used to be like the DVD, and like now, I mean that's part of their business, but it's the majority is like now the streaming service.
It's now the streaming service, and now they discovered what really makes you big. It's not just having like other people's shows. It's having
because their streaming
content.
library isn't that great. It's their original.
No, I mean the first show that really took off, like made a difference that wasn't theirs, was like Breaking Bad became really big through Netflix.
Right.
But you can only have so many like other people's shows. Like you have to have your own to like really like.
I feel like they're decent stuff. Like you kind of run out of like they have a couple of good shows and then you kind of start running out.
Their movie selection's terrible.
Yeah.
I think the movies is worse. I think the shows they're better actually.
I don't even know where you watch movies anymore.
What do
You
you
know
mean?
what Cody is?
No.
Oh, I know what Cody. You know what? I heard about that.
It's awesome.
Cody, it's a way to basically, it's like a hack for. What do you have?
Yeah,
it on?
it's like it finds pirated streams on the internet and then it delivers it to your TV.
Like you could do it through like the Amazon or for Roku. You can do it through different things. And I heard about it, and someone told me how to do it. And then I wasn't even that interested in doing it, so I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch this. I'm like, I don't even really want to watch the movies that are in the theater right now.
No. It's. I mean, I don't watch movies in theaters because they're usually shitty, like camera copies. But no, they're for like movies that are already out. Like if they just came out on DVD, they'll be like 1080p.
Yeah, no, we were at someone's house and they showed me, and I was like, and they're like, you can actually look up the YouTube how to do the hack yourself.
I mean, it's not. It's the program itself is just a program. It just what it does. It just finds the streams on the internet that people are hosting. I mean, it's illegal, but it's not like you're not hacking anything. It's just the streams are there. It's just an interface for you to get the streams, basically.
I just didn't do it because I was like, I'm probably not gonna like. I'm like, I already have Netflix, and I'm like, I don't even.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool because you could basically like search, like you think of a movie and you want to watch it, you just type it in and you find the feed and you just start watching. I mean, literally, it takes like 5 seconds to start the movie up.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Once you get it, you have to. It takes a little setup, but once you have it set up, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Jay, you should probably get it.
I mean, they have a Windows. I mean, it's on Windows, so you can, or I think Mac too. So, I mean, you can try it out on your computer.
Speaking of hacks, I just found on eBay a PlayStation 2 that somebody preloaded with every single Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis game ever.
Wait, it's like an emulator, or just
he apparently somebody came out with emulators specifically for the PS2, and he preloaded the PS2 with it.
So you have every Super Nintendo, what is it?
Regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis.
But okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, emulators are like for the earlier systems, they actually work pretty decently because I run one on like my my TV box thing that's Android.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Did you buy it already?
Sure did.
Oh, cool.
How much was it?
$135 including shipping. And the system itself is modded, so you can play like import games or burnt games.
You got it already, or you used it?
No, it's coming this week.
Yeah, because the only thing like I found with the emulator, sometimes the controllers, like it doesn't, it's not as good as like the original system, like the interface and stuff. So I wonder how it is.
We'll find out. The cool thing is it has a save state. So instead of having to play a game for 5 straight hours, you can like play a level. And
that's the one. Like the emulators are cool that way. Like they all have that. Like you could always save it at any point, and it'll just resume from that exact point.
I mean, that's the coolest part.
It's like a very small file.
Because those games were like, you had to sit there for like 5 hours.
The thing is, like the 2,600 games, I bet you play 7 of them.
Jay's really into games.
Maybe that's.
You underestimate Jay's affinity for, especially old school games. I feel like.
Yeah, I do like the retro games. I would say I'm not going to play anywhere close to 2,500, but I will play a lot more than 7.
That is actually really cool. When you told me that, I was like, I should get that. That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean the price isn't bad.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. It's for 2,600 games. It's pretty worth it.
I just worry because I know with the Kodi stuff, like a lot of people are packaging these boxes that come in preloaded, and you get them, and they're like kind of buggy and stuff, and they're just like you bought it, it's yours. And Kodi's like a free program, so they're just selling you like. I mean, they are putting it together, so it's fine, but it's not.
Yeah, the person I knew that had it, like that's basically what they did. They bought it.
I mean, I think so. Basically, they come and they tend to work, but then as things get updated, like then they stop working, and unless you know how to actually use the program, sometimes it stops working over time. So, I mean, I don't know with the PlayStation, that might be all right, but
yeah, I mean,
I
don't watch it. I also don't watch enough. Like I watch most of the stuff I watch now is like on the train. and so I
Yeah.
can't like download it for like to watch it later. So
Although this Cody thing you can put on like a tablet and stuff too.
oh,
That's pretty
maybe
cool. But I don't know about probably not an iPad just because they lock it down. But if you have like another kind of tablet or a laptop.
Jay, do we have more questions?
Sure do. And the Knicks were up the entire game. They were up by 5 with 4 minutes left, and now they're down by 4 with 20 seconds left.
Aren't you happy though?
Good.
I am.
Good. They'll get a better draft.
Yeah,
pick.
I want them to lose every single game.
I'm watching this game. I'm like, they have to lose this game. Come on, I need the draft pick. You can't beat the goddamn Clippers.
All right, we got to end this soon. Liam writes, "What drugs have you taken, and why don't you smoke weed?"
I have smoked weed. I have tried mushrooms. I have tried ecstasy. I have tried coke. I have tried. I think that's it. Do you guys?
Weed, mushrooms, ecstasy, and opium.
I think I tried opium also. Yeah, that was the other one. But I tried it like once in college.
I just did weed a couple times.
What? You never smoked with me though?
Well, one of the times was in Amsterdam, so you weren't there. I forget what the other time was.
Freaking Christ! I lived with you for like 7 years, smoking every day, and you never smoked with me.
No,
yeah, it was only twice. It's not like I did it all the time.
Yeah.
I barely smoke anymore, but I like smoking was fun. I mean, I would enjoy doing it more often than I do it.
I don't anymore because I get massive panic attacks every time I do now.
Yeah.
You're not the only person. Like I feel like that happens to people.
I know a lot of people that's happened to now.
Yeah.
I can see that though. I can see how you could if you have panic attacks, I can see how it could make it really bad.
Yeah.
It's not even like a mental thing. It's like a physical thing. Like I'm not like scared and I'm getting a panic attack.
Yeah.
It's like a physical reaction.
It's probably just like everyone's brain's a little different, and some people are just more prone to getting those side effects.
I don't like you guys do any of the edibles?
Yeah, that was the worst one I had. Yeah.
My cousin gave me an edible, and we were away, and this was no kids are around. But I took it and it was so much. I only had it was like a piece of a cookie, and it was so strong. I was like zonked for the next 6 hours.
Now, when you say edible, is that like other drug, like marijuana?
Yeah, it's just marijuana. It's just like a marijuana cookie. Basically.
You're lucky it was only 6 hours.
I was down in spring training for the Mets, and we went to the Met game, and the whole Met game, I'm just staring. I'm like, I can barely talk. I'm like, this is not fun.
Not that I'm an expert, but from what I can tell, I think people just put way too much. Always. Like it's just hard not to put too much in it. I think that's the problem.
It's also hard to gauge when you're like baking it like that.
Right. I think people tend to overestimate rather than under.
I had it just right, and then my roommate told me I was completely wrong and to double it, and that's where things went awry.
But every time I've done I also did it in Amsterdam. I had space cakes, and it just destroyed me. I'd rather just smoke and have a clue how much
I also think the smoking itself, it's very easy to limit yourself because you're okay, 1 puff, 2 puff. Whereas a cookie, it's a cookie, so it's okay. I eat lots of cookies,
smoking. I'm if I start coughing, I know I should just stop smoking.
Yeah. It's not like a natural thing to smoke. It's you get used to it. But whereas a cookie is you've been eating cookies your whole life, so it's okay.
I'm good at eating cookies.
Yeah, I can eat a lot of these fucking cookies.
Liam writes, guys, have you heard of the Fair movie theater in Astoria, Queens? That is a place for escorts. My friend told me they have sexy Colombian girls there.
Jay, you live in Astoria.
I've only heard of one
I
movie.
like how his spelling of Astoria is Astories.
Yeah. I've only heard of one movie theater in Astoria, and it's like a UA theater, so no, I've not heard of that.
Oh, but you didn't go to the back of the theater, did you?
No, I did not.
Nick's lost. Yes.
Good.
The tank lives.
Liam writes, what places do you mates know to buy sex around New York City, and have you been to a happy ending massage place?
I always assume every Asian massage place I walk by is probably a happy ending place. And I know I probably shouldn't assume that, but I do assume that.
My friend's done that. I have not done that.
Where do you do it?
Is it around 23rd and 3rd or Lex?
Does that get awkward? You're like, do you are you sure you're done?
Well, they just ask how much are you tipping, and if you say a high number, then you get a happy ending.
Oh,
Like she said, how much are you tipping? He said $40, and then you got a happy ending.
There was I went to Vegas for a bachelor party, and I guess like two guys from a bachelor party and asked like a cab driver, where do you go for a happy ending? And he takes him someplace, and the scam there is that everything's really expensive, and then there's no happy ending. It's just a legit place that costs a lot of money. And
Nice.
you're like, what about the happy ending? We don't do that. When I paid all this money, talk to the cops.
Yeah.
Andrew
see
writes, how many times would I have to stir Jay up about being a closet Celtics fan until he cracked and it tried to stab me with a rake?
I don't know what to do
Yeah.
with that sentence.
We talked about that. We talked about it on the Knicks show. Jay is in the closet about being a Celtics fan. It's true. It is what it is.
You must be also a Patriots fan too.
Oh, God. It's just stop.
That was the worst game.
Oh man.
And I told Jay this by message, but so I didn't want the Patriots to win, but it turned out that if they had beaten them with a field goal in overtime, I would have won the pool at work with the numbers.
Oh.
So like toward the end of the game where they were coming back, I'm like, okay, I think they're going to come back because it looks like that. So now I was just hoping that they would win by a field goal. So either they won by a field goal at the end of the fourth quarter or overtime, I would have won. But they won with a touchdown, so they basically screwed me by winning and also screwing me out of money.
Did you see the thing about the super coincidence about all the championships? What was it? The Cubs were down 3-1. They came back to win. The Cavaliers were down 3-1. They came back to win. And the Patriots scored 31 points to win the game.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
No, it's nothing. It's just like it's like a weird coincidence.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because they were down 28-3, they scored 31 points. I thought it was a pretty I was like, oh wow. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Just
I don't know. When the Falcons were up, at no point did I think that this was definitely over. Like, I was like, he could still come back.
Oh, I was having a conversation where I was like, oh, this is gonna be Brady's most embarrassing Super Bowl. He's gonna be like,
I mean, it
this
could
will
have been.
stain his career.
I just wanted Leon to smash a bunch of cabinets.
Oh my god.
Honestly, for 2 quarters, I was just trying to do the numbers in my head as to figuring out how, because I had a 1, and I'm like, they had 9. I don't know. I think the score ended with a 9, and I'm like, there's no combination of scores they could do to end up with that number. And then toward the end, I'm like, wait, they could actually do it. And so I missed the comeback because I was worried about that.
Andrew writes, what do you think a Brink PlayStation game would look like? Surely there would have to be a sleep apnea level in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's for sure. They'd be
There would definitely be a labyrinth board, like a Zelda dungeon, but it's Marc's huge house.
That sounds like an awesome game.
You have to run away from these little ants that get you.
There would be a haunted level, which would be Bry's.
A balloon following you.
Yeah, that would be the boss. Would be the balloon at the end. Bry's medium.
You should call the guy that sold you that PlayStation. Be like, you forgot to add the Brink of Sanity game.
Right.
There's a level. All you have to do is spend a little extra money to get through, and the entire time you have to argue with your wife about spending the money.
But if you spend enough, you get a happy ending.
There's one where you have to find out where the hell John podcast's from.
There's one level where you have to solve the audio problems.
There's another level where you have to just answer CPA questions.
There's another level where you're running down the street trying to sell the last 5 Brink shirts.
Wait, this level I have to edit video?
There's one level where below that level there's a really noisy neighbor.
Yeah, one level you have to try and sleep with apnea and your neighbors going off.
And throughout the night, black mold grows over your head.
Yeah, that would be the boss. Big black mold that tries to attach itself to your lungs. I think this would be a really good game, actually.
Yeah.
I think this is a pretty solid game. Yeah.
Do any of our listeners make video games? That'd be
If you make a
awesome.
video game, you make a Brink video game, it would be awesome.
Yeah. Somebody get on that. Andrew writes, why is Bry a Pittsburgh Penguin fan? You'll have to ask next week when Bry is on. Andrew writes, is the Super Bowl overhyped? And is the NBA Finals was only one game? Would it be a massive event as well?
I'm starting to think the Super Bowl, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the game like was sort of a good matchup, but like the commercials and stuff weren't really that great, and I don't know.
I mean, the game from just a competitive
I
standpoint.
mean, it was a good game, yeah.
It was one of the best Super. What's a better Super Bowl
No, it was a really good game, but
for drama? But the commercials were terrible.
Oh,
I
who
guess,
cares
like,
about the
the whole-
commercials? It's not part of the game. It has
I
nothing
give a
to do with
I
it.
give a fuck about the commercials. I like the commercials. I actually like. I don't like when I go to a Super Bowl party and you can't hear the commercials. I want to hear the commercials.
Oh, I started the game an hour late on DVR so I could fast forward the commercials.
Oh, really? No. I want to see all the commercials. I don't. Sometimes commercials are fun.
Fuck
Like,
the
are good.
commercials. If they're any good, they'll be repeated the next 2 months ad nauseum.
Which is kind of ruins part of it also. But I do kind of like the commercials too. So
It's a scam.
I'm like, I get excited for those first commercial. I'm like, oh, here's where they're spending their millions of dollars on. Send me something.
It's a scam.
I mean,
Yeah.
my whole thing is like Super Bowl parties. I feel like the party itself can be fun, but then I feel like either you watch the game or you have the party. Like,
I agree.
like like when the Giants were in it, which is like the team I follow and Jay does, or Jay is a fan. I didn't want to like. I think we did have parties, but I feel like we couldn't watch the game as closely because of the party itself. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of just want to watch the game.
yeah. So I don't know. Like I watched it this Super Bowl. I didn't go to a party, and I felt like I could watch the game better.
Last question. Homer Simpson, Peter Griffin, Cartman, or Larry Bird. You get to be one of these people for a day. Who do you choose? I mean, that's
Homer
kind
Simpson,
of
Peter Griffin, Cartman. Was there anyone else?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird. That fits in.
I mean, that's kind of a stacked question because two guys are pretty much retarded. The other one's like an obese 6-year-old.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be any of these people. Like,
Well,
I
Larry
mean,
Bird has like major back problems, and like he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's only one day, and if that day was like the day of a Pacers game, you could at least sit front row and watch it.
Yeah, I mean, also like only one of these people is a real person.
I don't know. Cartman would be kind of fun. You can eat whatever you want. You become a fat shit. You can.
I think three of them are like kind of the same thing.
You can say whatever. You could be a total asshole. Everyone, I think that's what you do.
Like three of them are animated assholes. Like,
Yeah. Well, Homer's a well-meaning asshole. Cartman is not a well-meaning asshole.
no.
And Peter Griffin's more on the homework side of things. A well-meaning
Right, yeah.
asshole. Well, I don't know. Do you want to bang Marge? Do you want to bang Lois? Or do you want to bang
Nobody.
I don't know, did Larry Bird like bang like strippers?
Oh, Larry Bird. I thought you meant Cartman. I'm like, Cartman doesn't bang.
Larry Bird, do you think he gets like ass at this point?
Probably could.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I dominated the NBA in the 80s. What's the 80s?
yeah, that's true. I feel like still people would know. What's a better line than I'm Larry Bird? That's a pretty good line.
I'm gonna guess I'm LeBron James does a little better with the ladies.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm just thinking. I guess Homer Simpson. I feel like Springfield is interesting town. Yeah, I just walk around.
I feel like Andrew just likes to keep coming up with ways for me to say Larry Bird.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
gonna bang Lois. I'll be Peter Griffin.
Yeah, I think if it was about banging the wives, I think Lois is the best one. But
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
that's our show for today.
Just under an hour.
Yeah. Leave us a review on iTunes, please. And
No one's done that in a while.
no, nobody's done that in a while. So get on
Maybe
that, people.
Yeah, why don't people do that anymore?
I don't know.
Why is it not a thing?
well, let me ask you: do you think people are downloading your podcast in other ways? I guess not through iTunes.
No, the majority of our downloads are through iTunes.
Oh, they are. Okay.
And we've
'Cause I
gotten our numbers have doubled since September, so there's a lot of new people there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
People to be giving reviews.
What's a good question of the day for the Knicks show tomorrow?
Are you happy or sad that the Knicks lost? Weed out the people who still want them to struggle for the playoffs.
There you go.
Or are you upset that the Knicks didn't sign Lance Stevenson because the Timberwolves just did?
Oh. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out for them.
Yeah, I mean, making the playoffs is like basically just getting swept by the Cavs, right?
Well, they are 1-0 with Lance Stevenson, and they beat the Raptors.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's depressing.
Lance was 3 for 7, 6 points.
He's the key.
Yep. He was a +5. Second, he had the best plus-minus on the entire team. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.